We are going to be learning 4 principles to business abundance and financial abundance. It baffles me sometimes when I see Christians going through some trials in finances and having it difficult to break through, to break even in their business. We're going to know the plans of God for our lives, in our businesses, and in our finance. God's thought for you and I is to live in financial abundance, is to live ultimatum in our financial life, is to have our business breakthrough. God's plan for you and I is how to be wealthy, how to be financially free. God shows us in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. He said God planned and God said, let us make man in our own image. Let us give them dominion. Let them rule over the fishes, over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. God created you to rule over everything that moves on the earth. God made you a superior manager of everything He created. He placed you in charge. He kept you in charge. He made you the superior manager here on earth. Making you a superior manager of everything He created. He put all He had, all He have, and all He's about to create. He put them in your hands. It shows us, God shows us how we can take charge of those things He has created. God showed us how we can be an effective manager. God shows us how we can have financial abundance, business breakthrough. In the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, God said, God had already blessed you financially in all aspects, but the keys to that financial abundance, there are just 4 keys. We'll be looking at the 4 keys today. 4 keys to financial abundance. 4 keys to business breakthrough. If you ain't got a pen, please try as much as possible to get a pen. You need to jot this down. In the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, God said, be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. We're going to look at the word fruitful. 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 I've checked in the Hebrew words. The Hebrew words of being fruitful means seeds. Seeds. Means seeds. Means produce something. Seeds produce something. Seeds manifest something. Once you put a seed in the floor or on the ground, and once you cover it, the seeds germinate abundantly. So God's plan for you and I is to produce. You need to produce something. You need to create something. You need to produce something. Poverty is the absence of self-production. Once you don't have the ability to produce, poverty will come knocking at your door. You need to produce something. You need to learn a skill that will help you produce something. I heard of a story of a lady who was sacked in our office. And she got to the church and she asked the pastor and said, Pastor, I am being sacked. And the pastor asked and laughed. And he said, what do you have at home? And he said, well, I have an oven at home. I can bake. I can do this. I can do that. The pastor said, well, you already have what you need to produce. Go back home and start production. And this lady just left the office angrily, and she was angered, and she left. But she gave it a second thought, and she started producing breads. She started producing something that she had learned. And she started making cakes, breads, and so on and so forth. She took it back to the company where she was fired. And she sold to them. And they were eating it, and they were so happy. Not long enough, the company was having a retreat, and they needed somebody to cater for them. They called on her to come and cater for them. Not long enough, the place she was using became too small for her. She moved out. She got another apartment to run the business. Not long enough, the people she had was too small. She left and she produced something. Like I said, you need to produce something. God never gave you and I a table. God never gave us a table. God never gave us a door. God never gave us a chair. God never gave us a plank. He hid them in a tree. He hid them in a tree. God never gave you and I a shoe, but He hid them in a cow. God never gave you and I clothes to put on. Even in the Garden of Eden, leaves was used to wrap their nakedness. God never gave them clothes, but He hid them in the cotton, in the plants, and also in the animals. What do you have that you can produce? What do you have that you can exchange to make money from? Is it your gift? Is it your talent? What do you have that you can exchange? I could remember when I learned how to produce a bead. We were going for an exhibition, and I had an old bead that was not useful for my mom again. I could remember back then I took those beads, I reproduced it, and I sold it for 7,000 naira then. That was huge money. What do you have that you can produce? Number 2 example that God gave you and I for financial abundance or for business breakthrough is multiply. Multiply what you have produced. Multiply what you have produced. Multiply what you have produced. You are producing anything in the world. For example, you are producing cakes. You need to learn the way of multiplication. Don't forget, if you alone are working, the Bible says one will chase what? 1,000. 2 will chase 10,000. The Bible is complete. You need to multiply. When you alone is chasing just 1,000, once you become 2 in producing that thing, you multiply it to 10,000 naira. 10,000 amount of what you are producing. If you alone, you're working 7 hours. You are working 7 hours, but if you hire 7 more hands to work with you, that means you are working 79 hours a day. You alone, you're working 7 hours a day. But once you multiply it and you become 7, you are working 49 hours a day. You achieve more. You achieve more results and do more once you learn the principle of multiplication. You have to learn how to multiply. Number 3 is replenish. 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 You must learn how to distribute. You've been able to produce a cake. You've been able to multiply that cake by more than one. Number 3 thing is that you must learn how to distribute it. You must look for a strategy, a way to get it to your customers. You must look for a logic to get it to your customers. Gone are those days when you and I had to go to the market to buy things. Now you sit at home, you order them, and it will be delivered to you at home. Someone thought about it. You must think of a way of how to meet the needs of your client. Put up a strategy. Put up a way. Think of how to multiply them. You must think of a way to multiply your strategy. Think of a planned strategy if you must be successful in that business. If you must be successful in that financial breakthrough. This is the secret of financial wealth. Number 4, subdue. Subdue. Subdue means taking control of the market. Taking control of the market. You must take control of the market. Bill Gates produced one computer. He produced it. He multiplied it. He distributed it all over the world. And he subdued it. He took control of the computer market, whereby every computer in the world has its software. Take control of the market. Do not compete. Do not compete, but take control of the market. You must take a way to dominate in every area of that business. Think of a way to dominate in every area of that business. You can see Access Bank, they have branches all over. They are dominating. They have branches here, they have branches there, they have branches there, they have branches there. You can see other banks. There are some banks that do not have other branches like they do. But they are dominating. That is their secret. And I hope you have learned something new today.